Welcome to Aussie Liberty. My name is Lee. I want to talk about the pros and cons of WA, the secession of WA from the Commonwealth of Australia. Now, a lot of libertarians really like the idea. I think it appeals to their trolling, contrarian sort of instincts. I, however, think it's actually more complex than that, and not even in a you libertarians are stupid. You always seem simplistic, but actually in a I don't think it actually works out necessarily the way we would like to think it works out. In fact, I actually think it's a lot like Brexit right now. So the stated kind of goals of kind of libertarian-inspired secession is to throw off the shackles of slavery to Canberra, to have more freedom, to have less government, and to overall sort of increase the level of prosperity and all the rest of it. And I actually, to be perfectly honest, it's, I think, identical to what the libertarian rationale for Brexit is. I think the problem is that you don't always get what you want, to quote the Rolling Stones. As we're seeing with Brexit right now, we've got Theresa May, who is a pretty hardcore statist, who came out and said, government is there to do good things for people, which is a explicitly non-libertarian, in some ways anti-libertarian statement. And I think that would kind of work out similar for WA. So if Colin Barnett were Prime Minister, would we have more freedom? Probably no. Is there any, if we look at the WA political scene, is there sort of any reason to think on the horizon there would be some sort of, libertarian revolution to be had? Probably not. And I think that's basically because secession has the same issues as current government in Australia, which is when you have people who believe in doing something all the time to fix stuff, you're always going to get more government. Like that is the genesis for ever increasing government is, well, there's a problem, government must fix it. There's a problem, government, even when the problem is caused by government must fix it. So I think although the pipe dream of this great revolution in liberty within Western Australia is kind of funny, I don't think it actually works that way. I mean, I guess you can look at Hutt River, which, for those who don't know, Hutt River is a principality that's actually seceded, maybe, questionably, probably, from WA back in the 70s. A farmer essentially was having issues with wheat quotas. He seceded and declared himself to be Prince Leonard of Hutt River. It's a very fascinating story. I probably should do a longer episode on it. I guess, that was formed under libertarian principles, but it's only one family farm. It's not really all of Western Australia. So I guess if you broke down, if you had actually a complete anarchist revolution where anybody can start a government in Western Australia, you would get, I guess, a libertarian, like a broadly sort of liberty-friendly kind of political movement. But I think just making WA into its own country doesn't solve the problem of centralization and the concentration of power in the hands of a small minority, and you just trade one set of would-be kings for another set of would-be kings. It's only if at the same time you seceded did you change how if you limited government in some way that no one has ever done in the history of the world, which is like some sort of permanent thing, could you get a real change? So libertarians maybe keep joking about WA secession, but I honestly think it's not a real thing. Alas, I wish it was. All right, thanks for joining me, everybody, and I'll have more videos up soon, hopefully.